Two ladies exploring the personal stories and experiences of women in ufology and the paranormal.
Good evening and welcome to the next episode of Women of the Dark. A few technical issues tonight, Abs, but we are on and we are recording. How are you?
Well, I'm better now. Things is like here and working.
Yeah. Modern
And
technology.
I can see you and I can hear you.
Excellent. That's a
Which
good
is good.
start. Right, so it's just you and I tonight, and we're just going to be going down some rabbit holes, talking about what's been going on in the world of anything UFO-y, paranormally stuff.
Anything strange and unusual.
Yes. So have you been up to anything recently that you need to tell us about?
I've just been trying to catch up on bits and pieces. I got that article out, the new article. It's not a very long one, but I think it's quite relevant to what's happening at the minute.
Mm-hmm.
I've done another investigation. And just catching up on some research and trying to get stuff done. But you've been busy.
I have. UFO Identified have been guests this week on Liverpool Community Radio. So we met the guys who run the paranormal show on Liverpool Community Radio Station at the recent Liverpool meetup, which was very successful, and they invited us on the show. So myself and Sasha, who co-hosts the Liverpool Meet with me, went down to their radio station and we recorded for a couple of hours with them, talking all things sort of UFO-y and paranormal with them. So yeah, it was a really great experience to be in a proper bona fide recording studio with your cans on your head. I thought I'd arrived.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. They looked awesome. But
it was good fun.
Yeah, these meetings, they're a good way of making connections and getting connected with people, and it gets everything out there.
Yeah. So just to let the listeners know, we have got regular monthly meetings now happening in Manchester and in Liverpool, and we are just looking at getting some set up towards sort of Wigan-y, Preston-y, Southport-y way. We have put a shout out on social media and on our website asking for any of our members to give us ideas where they'd like meetings to take place, and I think Abs, you'll probably lead on that, won't you, to create another forum?
I think I opened a whole can of worms with that, because we had some suggestions for Southampton, for the Northeast, right over in Yorkshire, the other side of the country. They were coming in from everywhere, and one from Ireland. And I was like, is it going to be a monthly meeting, or is it going to be like a yearly road show?
Yeah.
And we have to take it on the road.
Yeah. And I know we have talked about making us mobile before now, haven't we?
Yeah, well, we were discussing whether we were all going to do like the mini-con in like the central area, like Manchester, like we did before.
Yeah.
Or whether we're going to do a series of small mini-cons in different areas, because I'm finding our members are not just Northwest.
No.
They are up and down the country. We've got suggestions for Derbyshire.
Mm-hmm. I think Southampton, to go and do a couple of hours of a meet, is a little far to commute for one day, to be honest.
I mean, Southampton, absolutely, it's a little bit far to go.
Yeah.
But there's no saying we can't do a meet up in a couple of these places, maybe one every 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm well up for a road trip, let me tell you.
Yeah. Maybe one every 3 months, just in a different area, just to connect.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
Those places.
Yeah. So for anyone who hasn't been to any of our meetups before, they are very informal. They normally happen in the pub, which is always a great place for a meeting, and they are a safe space for anybody to come and have a chat. You don't have to speak if you don't want to be in a safe space with people who are like-minded, who are not going to judge you. And we just talk general stuff about our own experiences, the experiences of others, and general stuff that's going on within the UFO field. But I know one of the things that came up in the Liverpool session last week was that seems to be this stagnancy around British ufology at the moment, and the same old is being rehashed everywhere. You turn on the telly and oh, here's another one about Rendlesham Forest. Boring. How many of those have we seen? Same people being interviewed, same presenters presenting. We've got lots of new cases, we've got lots of new evidence. Why are we not seeing a bit of oomph in ufology? What's happening, Abs, and why is it not going down?
Why are we not seeing somebody even doing, not saying that this is definitely UFO, but some sort of documentary on the sightings that's happening around? I think it's just, I was watching UFO Week and it's the same stuff that was on last year and the year before. It's the same people, same programs. There's absolutely nothing new and no new information. It's just rehashed. Some of it's not even rehashed, it's just repeats.
Yeah, and it's boring, quite frankly.
We know this stuff, it's been done to death.
Yeah.
And then you people saying, well, really, there's been nothing happening since then. Well, there is. Start with it. We've had 500 more reports just in Britain, and we're not that big.
No.
In the last year, we put reports out regularly, and they're getting buried or ignored, or it's like we send it to all the papers. Do they pick it up? You get maybe a little bit of a blurb or somebody shows some interest, but then it will get shut down. But we found this year, I mean, if you look back, you sent out, we split the work between us for the Freedom of Information Act request. We all sent a link of them out.
Yeah.
I only have half a dozen back.
Yeah. So each year, UFO Identified, we write a Freedom of Information request out to every single police force in the United Kingdom. And we send them a nice letter and ask them for statistics and information on any reports that they have had from the general public around sightings of UAPs, UFOs. We put all of the different terminology in, don't we, to capture everything, really. And we do, some people ignore us. Some people just say, oh, we haven't got that information. Some people say, there's too much information and it's going to take us too long to give you that information. Yet we do get a few police forces that will reply with a handful of bits of information.
But it is a handful. There are far more. I've just completely ignored this. Some have been openly rude and saying it's a waste of your time.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are saying they've found this little loophole. It is not in the public interest to spend money on this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you know what? It's their loophole to shut it down. They don't have to give us the information. Scotland, on the other hand, wow, they just release everything.
Yeah.
And they investigate everything.
Yeah.
And they'll go out and check and look, and they seem far more progressive. Down here, they don't want to know.
No, it's a very laborious task, isn't it? It turns into a bit of a grapple for information, really, and information that should be freely available. You know,
the thing is the Freedom of Information Act, but it doesn't seem to be worth the paper it's printed on because they can find a way around it. We're not getting the information that we should be getting.
Yeah. Why do you think it is that we're seeing the same old presenters and people being interviewed? Why do you think people are not interested in hearing from the up and coming people in British ufology like ourselves? There's many other people out there too, but why are we rehashing the same old people?
I think people are interested, but it's another way to kill the topic. If you bring people will switch off.
Yeah.
And it's safe The information's out there. They don't have to do any real work because the information is already there. They don't have to go and pay researchers. They don't have to go out and actually do the work. And they're not taking a chance on a face that's not well known, because nobody knows us. Our faces won't sell a TV program on Blaze or Discovery Channel because nobody knows us.
Yeah.
But you stick Giorgio up there or Nick Pope up there. Everybody knows them.
Mm-hmm.
Love them or hate them, everybody knows them.
Yeah. It just makes things so boring and stagnant, though.
It does, especially when there's so much coming out and nobody's talking about it. Mm-hmm. You've got Chile, Mexico, Canada, America. I mean, all right, this stuff, it might not be extraterrestrial. It could be, how do I put this? It could be a foreign government.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's extraterrestrial. But we're not even getting a chance to investigate because they'll go, oh, there was this sighting, they've seen this, they've tracked this. And all of a sudden you can't get information on it for love nor money.
No.
Gone, it's wiped.
Mm.
I would like to know why.
And there's not many of us ladies out there either giving exposure in British ufology at the moment. And I know it's something we've harped on about on our show previously, but it is the likes of Nick Pope and those same old faces. And we've got something to say.
They bring out Linda Moulton Howe.
Yeah.
But usually only if there's a cow in it.
Uh-huh.
Because that's what she's most famous for.
Uh-huh.
Nothing about the fact that she was the only woman in her university course to do investigative journalism. The amount of work she won for her other stuff.
Yeah.
She's known for cows.
Yeah.
So they bring her out every now and again. Where's the rest of them? Mm-hmm. It's not like we're there. We are there. You go on Twitter, there's just as many women messaging as men. Yeah. We've interviewed a few. We've had some excellent conversations with the Lord.
Yeah, we're just trying to give people a voice, aren't we? We're trying to get that voice of women within that field recognised and heard.
A lot of them don't want to look at their comfort zone either.
Mm.
They're quite happy to research it and they're quite happy to talk it anonymously on Twitter and things like that. But do they really want to put their face out there? I mean, all these ones that are on the TV, they've been ridiculed just the same as we have.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people, because of the media and how it drums into you that your image is everything, they don't want to risk it.
No. We need to glam it up. We need somebody to pick us up on a cable channel somewhere and give us a little show.
Stick us a stage makeup on, put us in good jeans and let us go.
And a great padded bra for a bit of uplift.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll be cooking on gas.
Or hydrogen. You never know these days.
No, indeedy. So one of the things that we are looking for, and we have been for quite some time now, is every year, as a lot of you know, we have our mini-con in October each year. And we have lots of guest speakers on there, guest presenters from all over the world that come and talk about everything ufology. Abs and I, for some time, have wanted to go through regression to see what we can, see what it brings, really, because neither of us have really gone down that rabbit hole before, but both of us feel that we have had some experiences in our lives that could benefit from a regression. So I don't know if you feel happy to talk about what you perhaps want to get out of that, Abs, but one of the things we are putting a shout out for is anybody who is a reliable and trustworthy bona fide regression therapist. If you could please get in touch with us through Facebook, through Twitter, through Instagram, or on our website at www.ufoidentified.co.uk. We would be really, really interested in hearing from you, and doing some work with you, because really we would like to go through that regression together, and present something at conference this coming October about what happened from that regression. Did it work? Did it not work? Did it show us anything? Did it not? So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that a little bit from your perspective, Abs.
Yeah, I just want to know if it will bring memories to the fore, if it's a useful tool
Yeah.
for people who think that they have been abducted. I want to know if it's a useful tool just in general.
Yeah.
And if it really does work. I mean, I've had missing time and it wasn't alcohol induced, although there have been episodes of that in the past. These are ones where I was actually driving, so
yeah,
I was fully awake and alert. So, and I'd like to know one way or another. I would like an answer.
And we're quite prepared for it not to yield what we think it will yield.
If it doesn't work, if it comes out that we didn't learn anything, or it was completely mundane, the results are the results.
Yeah.
We don't fudge results. We don't dramatize or exaggerate our results. They are what they are. It's the same as if it's a drone, it's a drone. I'm not going to tell you you've got a wacky triangle up there when it's just a kid from 3 doors down Masonry's drone.
Yeah.
We'll tell you it's the truth, because that is what we are here for at UFO Identified. We're here for the truth.
Yeah. And a lot of people who have contacted us who have been through regression therapy before have not had a very good experience of it, have felt that it's either evoked something that they actually didn't want to feel or experience again anyway, or actually just wasn't a great experience. So that's why we want to try it for ourselves, so we can go and speak at conference to give our first-hand view of this is us, this is what happened, this is what we went through, and this was what the result was.
See, well, I'm not looking for a specific result.
No.
I don't know if you are. I'm not looking for, well, I know this happened and I want proof of it. I'm not looking for a specific result. What I get is what I get. So I'm going to be disappointed. And I think sometimes someone that's gone through regression did get the answer they wanted. So they've been disappointed in it. It's easy to dismiss something that you're disappointed with. Whereas we're not expecting answers. We're not expecting it to be outlandishly wild and I was on a spaceship with Tom Hardy kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're all abducted, we're away for a fortnight. Nobody knew. We're not expecting that. I'm not expecting anything.
Yeah.
I just want answers. And to be able to put that forward as an investigation report and a talk, it would be, because we all do a little bit at the conferences.
Yeah.
We all speak about our research, what we've been doing, what we've been looking at. And I'm really excited about this, but it's getting really hard to find a therapist who's willing to do it.
Yeah. We have put the shout out there on social media before and not really got much from it. So we're hoping if we put the shout out on our podcast today, that we will have someone who would be interested in helping us through that piece of research.
I mean, we don't have to name the therapist. He doesn't have to be named. He or she can stay completely anonymous if that's how they want to do it. They don't have to be included in our talk, because it's not going to be like actively published paper that's put in some science or psychology magazine. It's for our conference.
Yeah.
It's with respect to what we do. So they don't, it can be anonymous from there.
Yeah.
From there, obviously we would check out credentials.
Yeah.
Before we followed down that road, because I don't really think I want to be hypnotized with somebody that's not.
No.
Or by somebody that's not.
If I'm honest, I'm not totally convinced that someone can hypnotize me.
See, I was of the same, but it's worth a go.
Oh, well, totally, I'm worth it, worth rolling with it for sure. But do I believe that some of these people that you see on the telly who've been hypnotized to walk around waddle like a chicken is real? I'm not sure. I need to experience it for myself and see if it works. So please get in touch if anyone is interested in supporting us with that. So
see what they think about the Rolling Con Roadshow. That would be, get some feedback on that and to see if we would have enough interest to be doing it.
Yeah, I think it would be really good to do that rolling roadshow kind of thing and see how we get on. Because we always have really good turnouts for conference and for sky watches and for the meetings and stuff. And I think it surprises us as a group. Sometimes we think, oh God, we're going to turn up and there'll just be us sat there twiddling our thumbs. And actually, we're always pleasantly surprised by the different people that we meet. And
it's busy. Well, we run out of chairs at one.
Yeah, we had to get extra chairs to the Liverpool one. And hopefully now that the weather is improving a little bit, we'll be getting back out with the sky watches, because I know over the winter we have had a few that have been cancelled due to thunder and snow and rain and gales and all kinds of things. So hopefully now that the weather's changing, we can get out there and look up.
To get out this week if we can, because the planets are in alignment this week.
Yeah.
Which could be quite interesting for.
And for anyone who's not been on one of our sky watches, they're proper kick-ass, because not only do we watch the sky and have a good banter with everybody, but we also do tea, coffee and hot dogs. So what better than chatting and looking for aliens than having tea, coffee and hot dogs too?
Yeah, it's always fun.
A great sales pitch.
Did I hear you saying you were working on another article?
Yes, I've got one sort of under construction at the moment, which is based on some historical medical records that I have kindly been provided with from somebody who was deemed to be quite mentally unwell and was being treated for such, but who fully believed that what they were experiencing was some sort of communication with either paranormal or extraterrestrial type beings. Now this is dating back quite a few years ago, but I'm in the middle of reviewing those medical records, and as a medical professional myself, I find it fascinating because a lot of what this patient had reported to the doctors and nurses is all recorded about the people she's seen, the conversations she's had with these beings, etc. So that's what I'm just starting to work on at the moment, which I think will be a really, really interesting piece of work. Yeah. Sadly, I can't talk to the lady herself because she's very, very unwell at the moment. But I have been in touch with her family, who have also experienced some very strange phenomenon in their time. And when I asked the daughter of the lady, do you believe that your mother was mentally ill, or do you believe that your mum was experiencing something that can't be explained? She had no hesitation to say, my mother wasn't mentally sick. My mother was experiencing something that we have subsequently experienced since. And in the end, her mum, when she saw these things, just used to ignore them and turn her back on them and pretend that they weren't happening, because she felt that was the only way to not be put back in hospital again.
The stigma attached to sightings, and
yeah,
I mean we're quite brazen about it. Everybody where I work, I'm not going to say where I work, but everybody where I work they tried to rib me.
Yeah.
And I was, actually, have you seen this? Because we're in the paper on that one. We've got articles out on that one. We've got a website on that. And they're like, oh, right, okay, so you're not messing about then.
No.
No.
We take what we do seriously.
Yeah, which is why we told a certain presenter, no, thank you.
Yes.
Because when they put into the email just a bit of fun, sorry, no. Well, this is fun for us because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
And the meetings are fun and relaxed and chilled. We take our work very seriously.
And the topic is serious, and it affects people in a very, very serious way. And the impact on some people's mental health and well-being is absolutely tremendous.
And it has a knock-on effect into people's lives, you know, because it fundamentally changes their belief systems.
Yeah.
And that can shock a person to the core. How many reports have we had where we have comprehensive reports where we ask them, how did you feel at the time? And a lot of them are confused, scared.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think anymore. How does this affect? How will this affect you in the future? Well, I don't know what to think. It knocked people's boundaries, and it can be quite profound for a lot of them and have life-changing consequences, which people don't seem to take very seriously at all. And then to be ridiculed for that is even, or deemed mentally ill.
Yeah, I think someone summed it up very well at conference last October, when we were talking about people who've experienced things and this lived experience and this trauma that can be brought about by what people experience. If somebody said to us, if you were to ring in sick to work tomorrow and say, I can't come into work today because I got attacked on the way home last night, some guy stole my handbag, bashed me over the head, and I'm in hospital. How flexible would you be with your member of staff? You'd be, oh, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Blah, 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 take as much time as you need. Someone rang you up and said, hi, I'm really sorry, but I can't come into work tomorrow because actually last night these beings came into my room and they took me somewhere and experimented on me, and I'm really traumatized and I don't understand what's happened to me and I can't make sense of it all. They're going to be labeled the crazy dude.
They're going to refer you to help and mental checkup.
Of course. And for me, that just really made me think, wow, that's exactly how people must think who have been experiencers. And the ridicule is just awful.
I mean, we do get some reports and you think, or you see some reports and they're going into the wild somewhere and you're thinking, yeah, that sounds really like too outlandish. And you're thinking, and you do get some people who make it up.
Of course.
For attention. And you do get some people who fudge results or fudge the story, embellish the story a wee bit. That doesn't help either.
No, it doesn't. But we have interviewed and worked with some of these people who have experienced these things, who are so profoundly affected and traumatized, and they have their physical health even affected by it these days.
And some of
that's mammoth.
Professional people who the powers that be deemed to be reliable witnesses. So it's like, where do you go with that? And who do you talk to?
Well, exactly. There's nowhere for people like that to go, apart from, the groups like we have, the conferences like we have, the safe spaces that we can offer. But it's very difficult. And we've had a few people come to our meetings who have been very reluctant to come and have sort of stood on the peripheries, and actually once they've got used and comfortable to the people that are there, and then they come out they come out with, well, actually, I know you guys are not going to laugh at me now, let me try and explain a little bit about what's happened to me. and the relief that you can see off them by just being able to share their story in a space where people aren't going to think nutball, is great, and I'm glad we can provide that safe space for people. So Abs, one of the things that we are doing as a group as UFO Identified researchers is working on a book at the minute. So do you want to let our listeners know what to expect with that?
Yeah, we're doing a book. It's a catalogue really of sightings, and it's UK sightings, different areas, different types of sightings, the ultimate end of it. So the conclusions are going to be in there as well. So we're going through, I think, I'm not sure if how we're going to put it out, whether it's going to be region by region by region, or whether it's going to be type of sightings yet, but we're working hard on it. Ash is working hard on it.
Yeah, I think Ash has beaten us on all the investigations. I think he's done like twice as many as we have at the minute.
Yeah, well, the work's just got crazy. With COVID rising,
I know.
There's been a lot of overtime that needs to be done.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people forget we do this in our spare time after our, regular jobs. So there's a lot to squeeze in when you add in all the research, all of the investigations, all of the arranging of various different meetings, and as it comes closer to conference, it goes bananas, doesn't it? There's a lot of
there's a lot
involved.
of investigation and research to go into it, and we've got to try and organise the speakers, and we're trying to get a speaker at least for the meetings, and we're trying to set up another meeting, so that's going to be another night of the month that's going to be taken up, which it takes a month to put that together.
Yeah. Well and truly.
And finding a venue who's got a little area that they can set aside for us.
Yeah.
Preston's kind of difficult because it's pretty much a party town. You're going to have it, but you have to have it close to hubs for
transport
hubs, because not everybody drives.
No.
Not everybody's.
Yeah.
So it's picking the places and trying to get the places, and then trying to get them locked in, and then publicising, trying to get somebody who's going to speak at it.
So hopefully the book will be published and ready in time for conference in October.
Yep.
That's the plan. So I know you and myself have written books in the past, so we know the stress and the strains and the time constraints that are involved with that. So
and the proofreading and the editing, and
so I'm glad we're doing this book as a group all together, so we can bounce things off each other, which is much easier than writing one on your own. So I think the last topic we're going to kind of touch on today, we're going to move away a little bit from the ufology. And when I was on the radio the other day at Liverpool Community Radio, we spoke with a gentleman who was very into his belief around the mathematical code behind all of us that he believes dictates the way our life will go. So
you mean like numerology and repeating numbers and stuff?
Yeah, but he very much looks at people that from when they're born, and believes he is able to tell and pick out areas in their lifetime. So he maps them from birth to 100, and he can pick up areas of, austerity, great joy, things going well. And he was really, really interesting to listen to. He's on the autistic spectrum, and he sees life very much as number rather than anything else, which was fascinating to listen to.
Seeing patterns and things. And
yeah. So I know you've had some patterns with numbers recently. What's been happening in your world of numbers?
Absolutely demented. It's like if I've done it earlier tonight where had the TV on and I've hit pause, and it's hit pause at 11 minutes 11 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
I've been in at work, there's been a code shouted, I've looked at the clock and it's been 12:12
Right.
or 10:10. There's always seemed to be something happens where I've got to look at a clock and the numbers are repeating. And it is everywhere. It's in the car, it's at work, it's at home. I wake up in the middle of the night and it's 3:33. And that's been happening for months.
So I think in the world of numerology, repeating numbers are seen as an amplification of energy.
Yeah, it's like I'm waking up at 02:02,
Right.
3:33.
Yeah.
And then I wake up again at 4:44.
Mm.
And then I'll get in the car and it'll be 08:08. It's just, it's everywhere at the minute. It's like everywhere. I can go months without seeing anything. And all of a sudden it's just constantly repeating numbers.
Wow. And they're not the same numbers though. They're just repeated numbers of whatever number it is. So it's not always 22, 22 or the number 2. It's different numbers.
It's different numbers. It'll be 11:11, 10:10.
Yeah.
3:33 is a constant. That seems to be happening most nights. Now,
Right.
whether my body's just got into a rhythm of waking up at that time,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing that seems to be waking me. I mean, this house is weird at the best of times with its flashing lights and the bathroom door that opens by itself and the light goes on by itself. And I have to tell it to switch it off and it will do it.
I mean, both of us experience those things in our everyday lives and we just really don't pay much attention to them really anymore, do we? The strange
So I'll go in
shenanigans.
I'll go in the kitchen and something's not where I left it. And I think,
Yeah.
at one time I was like, do you know what? I'm going to set a camera up here and I'm going to have this place watched and I'm going to watch it all back. And now it's like, oh, just put it back.
Yeah.
And I'll just go put them again. I was like, I can't put my keys. I was like, no, you got them, put them back.
Do you verbalize that? Because I do sometimes. More so than, yeah. And I just go, for God's sake, will you stop doing that?
Yeah. It's like I got up and the bathroom light went on, the door opened. I can't sleep with that light on. So I got up, switched it off, shut the door, got into my bed, the door opened, the light went on. So I got up and I did it again, switched it off. So back into my bed, door opened, light on. I was like, oh, pack it in, I'm not getting up again. And the light went out. And I just told her I went to sleep like it was absolutely nothing. And it's got to that point where it's like, I know where I put my keys. I put my keys in the same place every time. I'll come down in the morning, they're gone. I'm like, enough. Put them back up where I can find them. And then I'll go brush my teeth, do something else, and they'll be bang in the middle of the kitchen counter.
It's literally just happened to me with my passport. So I've just cancelled my passport because my passport disappeared. Have scoured the house up and down for the passport. No passport. And I just thought, well, it's gone from wherever it was. So I cancelled it. And as luck may have it, it actually ran out in March anyway. So no great shakes. But today I walked into the lounge and on the side table with the telly above it, there for all to see, where's my passport?
Yeah.
And I've been looking for it for probably nigh on 2 months. And today it just decided to make an appearance.
Yeah. But did you ask the house to give it back?
No, I didn't actually. Sometimes I do that, but no, I didn't. It pissed me off in the end, and I just thought, oh, whatever's with you. And I knew it was going to expire or had expired very shortly, so I thought, I'm not really going to pay much attention to it. And 9 times out of 10, when strange things happen and things move and I see things out the corner of my eye and everything, I don't even bat an eyelid anymore. But just recently, I think it's been getting on my nerves a bit more. And I just verbalize it and I'm like, oh, just stop it.
It's just when it interferes with the usual routine is when I'm like, pack it in. Because the rest of the time it's like, no, I'll get into my bed and I'll hear somebody walking across the hall and I know everybody's in bed. But I'll hear somebody walking across the hall and I'm like, just get on with it. And I'll just turn over because I'm just so used to it now. It's just there.
Yeah. I know. It
Whether
is.
that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not sure.
And I think for anyone who doesn't sort of like have that connection, it would freak most people out to the core if they heard what we hear and saw what we hear. And yet we don't bat an eyelid over it anymore because it happens so frequently, I think, that you'd never rest.
No, you'd be in a permanent state of alarm.
Yeah. And now it's a norm.
Yeah, I mean, luckily it's not been anything. I mean, you watch some of these Paranormal Survivor and stuff, and the one I watched recently that was really good was Paranormal 911. And these are policemen, firefighters, soldiers, all professionals that have had experiences. And some of them have like, I won't go into that building ever again. Or some of them have quit and taken another job. Some of them have moved districts because they can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Because it's been so extreme. And you see some of them and it's like, there's things flying off shelves at them and there's cupboard doors slamming. I mean, I've had that in a house before, but what I'm getting now and for the last few years has not been violent or disturbing. I'm not waking up. I mean, occasionally I wake up with an odd scratch or a bruise, but that could be anything. That could be I've got up for the in the middle of the night and banged my elbow on the way through and not noticed. Or something I've done at work where I haven't noticed. So I don't really put much stock in that. It's not like I've woke up and gone, oh no, I've got like 3 big scratches across me or my back's thing and there's 3 big scratches. There's nothing that kind of violent with it.
No.
So whether it's just we've just got used to it and don't notice it, or just take it for granted that's what it is. So they've learned to live with us as well as we've learned to live with them.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Yeah.
I think maybe because we've acknowledged their existence and we occasionally speak until it just stopped pissing about. It's got as used to us as we've got used to them.
Yeah, they know how far we can be pushed before we get mad.
Yeah. It's like, well, they'll start with the lights when we talk about stuff. So I no longer turn that light on when I'm talking about stuff because I know it'll do it to annoy me.
And how many times when we've been to our meetings at the pub have we had swinging lights, flashing lights, all kinds of funny things that go on with the lights and stuff?
Yeah, we're just like, oh, you're there. Okay. One of us has brought something.
Yeah.
Or something in the building to say hello.
I know. Well, we will bring our episode of Being Down the Rabbit Hole to a bit of a conclusion for tonight, but we will look forward to having our listeners join us over the next couple of episodes. We've got some really, really great women guests coming on and booked in. So thanks, Abs. And anyone out there who's not checked out UFO Identified before, all of our stuff is on all of our different social media platforms, and everything is on www.ufoidentified.co.uk. all of our research articles, meetups, anything you want to know is on there, and hopefully within the next month you will see conference tickets coming out for October this year. We always have early bird offers on, so the sooner you buy your tickets, the better the deal you get. And we also offer VIP tickets as well, where you are seated at the front of the arena and you get a nice little goodie bag and t-shirt and stuff. So keep an eye out for all of those bits of information, and we will see you on the next episode of Women of the Dark.
And also, what I would like to say is, if they want to put forward suggestions for topics, please feel free, because we don't do this for us. We do this for the people who are listening.
Absolutely. Well said.
If they want us to have a look at, let us know and we'll do what we can.
Brilliant. And on that note, we shall sign off. So good night to everybody.
Good night, all. Good night,
See you
Natalie.
soon. Bye
Bye.
bye.